So welcome everyone to today's seminar. The Zeribe Foundation seminar is one of the seminar series that we'll be holding this year. This turns out to be the second one for the year 2022. And I do hope we'll make it so interactive so that everyone will be able to learn and be able to at least get the key details in scoring a response from a potential hiring manager or PhD supervisor or whatever application you're making through writing the code emails. So I do hope Dr. Helen should be able to deal with that. I've known Helen for quite a couple of years now, I would say. So we look forward to enjoying her presentation today. So just a couple of introduction about Dr. Helen. Just like most of us, Dr. Helen also started her undergraduate study from Nigeria. She obtained Bachelor of Science in Industrial Microbiology from Federal University of Technology, where we all understand most of the federal universities of technology in Nigeria are doing perfectly well. So yeah, some of us can attest to that. And FUTO is one of those key University of Technologies that are doing excellently well. So she progressed to obtain Masters in Biomedical Science in the University of Wolverhampton in the United Kingdom, currently in the West Midlands, I would say not very far from Birmingham. So after the Masters, Dr. Helen also got a scholarship to undertake a PhD in biochemical engineering from the University of Birmingham. So I would say Dr. Helen is more of a testimony of what we always tell you during our seminars and also in the Telegram group on how one can actually move from one area and then integrate in a different area, having a well-diversified scope. You can see she moves from industrial microbiology, biomedical science into engineering. And actually, she won so many awards, which we only listed two of them. The Bradin Postgraduate Award for Best PhD Project in 2003, and also the Institute of Chemical Engineering, Biochemical Engineering Award for her doctorate studies, which actually is a testimony to the quality of research she generated during that PhD program. And then, as we all should know, for someone who performed so well like that, their principal investigators do not usually leave them to go very far. So she got a postgraduate research fellow position in the same university, from which she progressed to become a lecturer in chemical engineering in the same University of Birmingham. So you can see the progress of Dr. Helen, from the life sciences to chemical engineering. And then she is now integrating all of this together in her teaching and also in her research, because in her teaching, she teaches food safety, environmental, public health, environmental science. She teaches chemical engineering as well, food control and inspection. So you can see all of these have been integrated as a result of her diversification. So we should not just fit because we did microbiology. We are looking for masters in microbiology, PhD in microbiology. We should just try to diversify a little bit. You discover programs are interdisciplinary, which is, I know that is something we lack in Nigeria because everything is streamlined. But you discover once you move away to the West, everything is interwoven, interrelated, which is why it is good to actually have a look at details detailed information about programs and not just limit yourself to the title of microbiology, biochemistry, pharmacology, or pharmacy. Try to, have a broader view. So currently, Dr. Helen researches in food microbiology, use of natural preservatives in food processing, food reformulation, food fermentation, flow cytometry as well, and then food safety and food fraud, which is an area I've published together with Dr. Helen. I actually met Dr. Helen online, and we had a very wonderful conversation. That was in 2019, and then in 2020, I was lucky to visit her in her lab at the University of Birmingham in order for us to discuss about some collaborations. And just, I think, a week or 2 weeks after my visit, COVID came and all of us went on lockdown. And gradually we are coming out of the lockdown. So she does amazing research. She's got a very wonderful research group at the University of Birmingham. She has had multiple publications, some book chapters, and also there is an upcoming textbook she has written as one of the authors, which I'll show in the next slide. And also during her research, during her postdoctoral research, she contributed to a work in developing a home test kit for male fertility, which is marketed currently as a FETA. What that homemade male fertility kit actually does, it gives you a visual information about sperm motility, which is also a very wonderful marker in determining male infertility as well. So you can do that at the you can use that to test at the comfort of your home, which are also wonderful. She does a lot of mentoring, and to be frank with you, I'm one of the beneficiaries of her mentorship as well. So, learning never ends. So we learn from so many people as we progress. She supervises a couple of PhD students, of which so many of them I know personally. So if you're looking out for a PhD program in this area, so you might try to apply what you're going to learn from her today, write that code email and start that conversation at the end of this seminar, and hopefully you guys can try to do something together. She does conduct consultancy work as well, especially training in food safety, in food fraud, and also mentoring uh, college and also high school students across the West Midlands, which is really, really a very good job Dr. Helen is doing. So that is her email address. And she's accepting PhD students as well, which I already mentioned. Learn how to write code emails, and don't forget to use her, as a try to see how that goes. So that is the textbook I did mention that Dr. Helen has written with Dr. Ozioma Nwabo, which will be available in June this year. So yeah, that is a testimony of the quality of work and research Dr. Helen does as well. And then that brings me to the Google form, which we shared for people to register for to attend this seminar. So you can see we tried to ask people if they've ever emailed a professor abroad to inquire about master's, PhD, or job opportunity. We did receive 126 responses. And you can see the amazing outcome. There was, an equal tally of those who said yes and those who said no. So 50-50. And then when we decided to check around for those who answered yes, what actually were they writing such emails to inquire about? The majority said master's position, and then followed by PhD position, some wrote about job opportunity, and also a funding opportunity. So that tells you that this seminar is actually at the right time, and hopefully Dr. Helen and each of us that are participating will be able to, contribute, making it interactive so that we can learn the best that will benefit each and every one of us. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and I do hope we enjoy the seminar today. I'll stop sharing, and then Dr. Helen can kick off her presentation. Thank you once again, Dr. Helen, for accepting to be with us today. We do sincerely appreciate that, and looking forward to learning from you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to this seminar. The title of the seminar is How to Write an Email to Inquire about a Job or Research Position. And we have a moderator, Dr. Bai. So my name is Helen Unika. So I just want to say thank you so much to Zariba Foundation, for inviting me to speak to you. And for me also is a learning curve. So I will share from you the things I've learned over the years, and hopefully we can have some interaction, and we'll talk about it at the end. So the emails inquiry, how do you tailor it, and what is the content? So we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about handling no replies, because sometimes it's very discouraging. You've sent emails to so many professors, I've not had any response. Don't worry. How can you handle it? We'll cover this and we can discuss this as well. Follow up and reminders. So these are the contents of what we're going to talk about today. So do put questions in the chat if you have any questions. Then we'll have a conclusion. Questions will be answered. Then discussion and networking. Okay, I'm really looking forward to getting to meet some of you and talking to you after the talk. So then, why emails and to who? Okay. Job inquiry emails show employers your interest in their company, whether they have a job or not. So when you're passively seeking a job, inquiry emails are a great way to show, that you're interested, and also to connect with the organization for future positions if they don't have any. What happens is that they tend to keep your resume or your CV and notify you when your qualification meets what they need. For example, the 2 jobs I've had in the UK came after I sent my CV and inquired about a position. So, and they kept it. When the position came up, the email would say, oh, we have something. Do you want to come and have a chat? So I believe so strongly in inquiry email, because my 2 jobs so far came from that. So what they tend to do is they keep your CV. So it's got to be well written. So, for example, hiring managers, during a period of when they don't have a job they've advertised, when they get such emails, they save it in their bank. And when a job comes out, they can email you the job. So it's very important that we get, the right tone and the right way to write the emails. So emails can be written to professors, recruitment agents, to the laboratory staff, to graduate coordinators, or to following students, depending on where and what you want to do. So don't forget, inquiry email is a very great way to introduce yourself to a company and establish a connection. So it's very important that it's done very well. Okay, and if you send an email that is not solicited, it shows that you're really, really interested in the company. Okay, so it makes you very interesting candidate. So it's got to be done properly. And there are certain things not to do, and hopefully we'll talk about it. And you can ask any question at any point. Just put it on the chat. Now, be sure when you want to commence your email that you do your research. Do background research, is very important. Be sure your interest and background aligns with that of the person you are contacting. or if a job is advertised or a research position is advertised. This is very important, okay? Emails that are just obvious cut and paste, generic messages, sent out to a lot number of professors. Professors are very clever, they can pick that up. So you must not do that at all. I ignore such emails. I'm not interested in anyone copying and pasting at all. It shows me you've not even taken time to research or thinking about what you're writing to me. Okay? And I like to see passion coming out. So if you're very passionate about what you do, you can write it in such a way that it grabs my attention, for example. So be sure your interest and background aligns with the person you're contacting. Very important. Salutation also is key. Very good, because you need to address them by their correct professional title, at least when you're inquiring in the first instance. Okay? Because when you do that, it shows that you've really looked into my profile. You know about me. You have done your homework. You've read about my research area. So you know my publication. You know my salutation, my title. So it's very important that we do that. And other things you need to do when you're commenting is to make sure you keep it professional. Remember, you don't know who you're writing to. You need to avoid using colloquial English and no jokes, okay? Because this is very professional, letter you're writing. So do not, type, because some people will type like text message, short, thinking everyone will understand what you're saying. No, you have to spell out your words and spell them out correctly. No typos, please. No typos at all, okay? Because when you do that, when you take time to plan that email you're going to write, then the person reading it, will want to commence communication with you, take it further. So it's very important that you pay attention. Now, how should the email be? So tailoring emails and appropriate content is very important. Emails should be succinct. So what that means is you should keep it, concise as possible. Don't write 10 pages, okay? Make sure you explain why you want to do the research with that professor and what you hope to learn from the experience. Okay. If you can provide evidence of your motivation, good. That you're motivated and capable student, that is very good. And this will increase your chances of success. So, for example, they want to get a key message at a glance, not writing. I have to start looking and reading so much. Professors are very busy, so we have to be very careful. And even the people that other people involved in recruitment, they're so busy. So they want to see those punch words that will grab their attention. So things to avoid are, sending unsolicited files, especially large attachments. Most of the large attachments that are, sometimes might go to the spam folder because they get filtered or maybe flagged like email filters, and you won't be delivered in the first place. So your email doesn't get to them. So very important that we don't attach large, attachments to the email. Now, something that is very, very important is no memes or any funny attachment at all, okay? And you also need to minimize or completely avoid typographic and grammatic errors. Because if you do have such things in your email, it shows that you're not very careful, you're inattentive. And then I wonder how you're going to be able to write a scientific, paper or publish if you can't even write properly. So it's very important that we spell check the emails you're writing. Check it through. Ensure that it's correct in terms of grammar and no typographic errors in the email. Very important. So what I'm going to share next is a cold email I received. That email, I'm going to let you guess what happened to the email. Just have a guess what happened to the email. So this is an email I got. I respected, Sir/Madam, I'm writing this to express my interest to work in the area of artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, and application in the fields of engineering, medical science, and economics/finance. I went through your page and came to know that this matches my profile and project work. I am confident to contribute in a productive manner. I am a third-year student of MSc Mathematics and BE Electronics and Instrumentation at the University in India. I'm looking for research project work during summer of 2020. In addition to my undergraduate coursework, I have completed Udacity nano degree certification in machine learning and Coursera deep learning specialization. I am attaching my CV with more details. Then they went on to talk about, where they have worked, why they believe they're an asset to the group, how this internship will provide an ideal opportunity for them to contribute and expand their research and expertise further. Then went on with salutation. Looking forward to hearing from you. Now, this email, no, I'm sure you can guess where it went to. There are certain problems wrong with this email. Number one, I was BCC'd into this email. So you can imagine how many professors this email went out to. I was blind copied into it. So you can imagine, just a cold email sending out to so many people. They didn't even bother to send a separate email. And number two, I'm not respected sir, stroke madam. I am Helen Onyika. I have a name. And I have a salutation if you want to use that. So are you expecting me to choose if I'm a sir or madam? Okay. So names of titles are very important. They couldn't even be bothered to filter that. The third thing that was really funny about this email is their research interest doesn't even match with mine. I'm sure because they saw engineering, they just assume anyone in engineering. No, that's not my research. I'm a biochemical engineer or a food microbiologist. So nothing to do with me. So you have to be very careful when you're writing an email. You cannot blind copy so many professors and expect a response. Okay? Now, other examples of emails that I do not respond to and receive quite a lot. Emails with embedded links to CV or other information. I'm very busy and other professors are busy and lab managers. For us to be clicking and looking for the links and lots of links they have embedded in the email. No, number one, I wouldn't do that. Number two, it could be, I could be thinking, oh, maybe it's one of the spam emails or one of, maybe it's got virus attached to the links. I wouldn't open it or click on it. Secondly, emails with a lot of grammatical and error in spelling. Those emails shows me, number one, you want to work at a postgraduate level and you can't even bother to spell check. So no. But thirdly, emails that just copy and paste a sentence or two about my research from the website. You've not even bothered to do more about finding out about the professor. You just copied one or two things. No, that's not good enough. Or one sentence email that says, I am interested in XY research. Please, provide some guidance about how I will do that. No, not at all. I'm not going to provide you any more guidance on how you're going to do that. Okay? So these are some examples of emails that, there are so many other things, but these are the things that really, when I look at that, I just delete. Okay? Emails that I do often respond to, if I have any available opportunity, or sometimes I can save them because I have very, very good PhD students or students wanting to do PhD I've saved. So when I get some funding, I can refer, see if they're still available. They include information about your training, the interest that fits with the kind of research that I do in my laboratory. And you can get a feel of the kind of work that I do in my laboratory lab by reading some of my published work. You can usually find a professor's published work on his or her website, or even on LinkedIn, PubMed, ResearchGate, and those things are free for you to access. So just do a little bit of search about the person, then you can get all that information about them. Anytime I go for a job interview, I go prepared. I read around the company, then I try to find out what and how my interest aligns with them. So when I go into the interview, for example, I'm prepared, because I've done my background work and I know what I'm bringing to the organization or what I can offer. So this is just the kind of emails I respond to. And I'll give you an example of an email that was sent to me. And this particular email, the student have saved her information. So it starts, "Dear Professor Helen Unika, my name is," I've taken out the name here, "and I am about to graduate with a master's degree in food hygiene and quality control from a university, which is ranked as a top university in Iran. Okay? And they have a GPA of 4/4. It says first place among my graduating class. Then they went on to tell me that they have recently published an article about inhibition of Listeria monocytogenes group and talked about their research, and they also put in their abstracts. Then they went on to talk about my research area. It says your research on antibacterial and antibiofilm effects of garlic on E. coli biofilms is quite interesting for me. Also, your work published on ultrasound technology in food processing with emphasis of bacterial spores. We all know, for those of us that are in food, that bacterial spores are a major problem in the food industry, and biofilms. And she's telling me that it's perfectly aligned, with her interests. And she goes on to talk more about her interest link. Then the third paragraph she had, "I would like to pursue my education with a graduate degree, PhD, under your supervision. Then please let me know how to proceed to apply to joining your research group in the fall 2022. And I went on to say, "I'm eagerly, looking forward to an opportunity to express my intention over Skype meeting or any other method that is convenient for you." And then went on to thank me in advance for my attention, and I look forward to hearing from you. I mean, this I responded to. So just to give you an example of the kind of emails that catch our attention, you can see she's done her research about me, and she's seen how we both align, her research interests and mine align together. So that I responded to, had a chat with this particular student, and then we're taking it further. Okay, so moving on then. How should no replies be handled? Number one, be patient. People are very busy, so give them some time. They may also unintentionally forget to reply, read, or respond. Like I told you, my 2 jobs I got at University of Birmingham. The first one on the production of a male fertility kit. I did apply for another job, which they didn't answer me. I just sent an email to say, "I'm interested, do you have a job?" And they didn't say anything, but they saved my CV. And then after some time, they got in touch with me to say, "We've got your CV bound here. Are you still looking for a job?" So be patient. And also my second one, I did send an email to say, "I'm a food microbiologist. I've done a PhD here a few years ago, and I'm interested, in working in this particular area." And after some time, after it was a year, I got a response saying, "We're looking for someone to fill this position. Are you still available?" So sometimes it might take time, might take a couple of months, but don't worry. Just do the background work and send your emails. For example, I'm applying for some funding, a big funding, and there I have put in for 2 international PhD students. So imagine if I had got an email and I said, "Oh, this person might actually fit in when this grant application is successful." What I will do, I'll save that application, emails and the details that were sent to me. And then when, grant application takes months, then I'll go back to my the list of students that inquired and see if there's anyone that is suitable for that particular grant or that particular PhD I'm going to advertise. And I'll send them out to see if they're interested in that particular PhD and if they're still available. One other thing you can do is send a gentle reminder. Okay? It shows that you're really interested. Gentle reminder, just to appreciate that they're very busy, but you just wanted to let them know that you're still available and eager to work with them. A nice email and inquire, how are you? Things like that, because they're so busy and stressed. So someone inquiring, say, how are you, Dr. Nyaka? Hope you're okay. And I just wanted to remind you about my email I sent you. You put the date, that I'm still interested and passionate to work with you. I mean, I would like to know that, because person number one is very polite and they're asking after my welfare and they're really, really interested to work with me. And it's not just the email they sent to so many people are not bothered to check back on me. So checking back is really good. If possible, and where a lab manager or secretary's contact is available, consider following up with those people as well. Very important, okay? So in conclusion then, emailing is a great way to get insight into possible job availability, be it in academic, research, or non-academic. So it's good to email, but you must keep it simple. Avoid, by all means, making the wrong impression. I've shown you an example of the two types of emails, the one I'll go for. Be cautious and considerate in following up or sending reminders. It's very important, okay? That you don't just sound brash, but be considerate, inquire about how they are, and hope they've had a good day. Yeah, that will always bring a smile to anyone. So thank you, all of you, for listening. And if there's any question at all, we can continue to talk. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Helen, for that wonderful presentation. It did hit the nail on the pole, and I appreciate that it was direct and with suitable examples, which I hope many of us have learned from. So thank you for that.